Time now for All Things Gators, All Things Orange and Blue. Dan Hicken and Frangie. What's up, Hick?
Doing well. Thanks to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Frank, the very best in the business in the Jacksonville area. Boy, if you're having any problems with your knees, maybe your ankles, your elbows, your shoulders, se-ortho.com. They can do it all, and they will be great for you. So, Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Is he staying?
I think.
Yes, he's staying. He's not going.
Let me give my take on all this,
right.
okay? I don't think Dan Mullen's going anywhere yet.
Yeah.
I do believe at some point Dan Mullen's going to try the NFL. All the guys that talk about trying to try it, Spurrier and Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson, all of them, Pete Carroll, they all eventually try
Urban, maybe.
Urban, maybe. We're taping this on Monday morning. Who knows when you hear this? But I do believe that. I don't think it's now. Here's what I think happened. I think they both got a little testy with each other. The administration
and Mullen.
I think the administration's mad at Dan for the Seattle thing because they think he knew what to do and kind of brazenly broke the rules and he knew what he was doing. That's why he got the show cause. I think that ticked off the school. That has to do with no extension. I think he's upset that they haven't given him the extension. They fired the two coaches, according to Matt Hayes' report, and they did it, not him. I think Dan's a terrific coach, a terrific guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little bit of a baby.
Yeah.
And I think he gets upset easily.
Okay.
We've seen that on the sidelines. We've seen that. And I think he probably he can be better when he calms down. Don't go storming onto the sideline against Missouri. Don't go storming in your press conference at Texas A&M. I think he could do better, and I think he needs to do better. And at the same time, the school needs to make sure they know what they've got. He's made them elite. They haven't been elite in a long time. Dan Mullen has made them elite. I think at the end of the day, they'll all be fine.
I think both sides should be a little more appreciative of each other, quite honestly. I think that, Dan doesn't need to embarrass the university, which he did a couple of times. I think he's probably on some sort of double secret probation where, structuring of the contract. And because they do take the NCAA stuff seriously in Florida because they've been so scarred from it in previous.
And they're proud of the fact that they've gone 30 years since.
Correct. Right. So that they don't like that. That one bothers them more than the Darth Vader costume, although that's silly, and the running out of the field, losing your temper against Missouri and all the incidents that have occurred, this what he says after some press conferences and such. So I think that bothered him. But I think, and I include Gator Nation in this on this. They should be more appreciative of Dan Mullen as well. Dan Mullen has restored Florida. Now, a lot of non-Gators or some Gator fans, 8-4. Look, it was a great year.
This wasn't a real 8-4 year.
Yeah, we all know that. And
this was 8-4 years or 8-4.
LSU game, okay, I get it. But other than that, so I will say this: he's not ready for the NFL. I don't know that the NFL is ready for him in terms of, I don't think they're knocking down the door. There was one rogue report, I think it was rogue, that the Jets were going to talk to him. I don't know that they have. I don't think there's any NFL team that has lined up an interview with Dan Mullen to this point that I know of.
Yeah, I think where we are here, I totally agree with you. I don't sense that the NFL is after Dan Mullen this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was talk last year because the Cowboys had to do something.
And Dak.
They had Dak in there and out of the box thinker a bit. I don't think there's anything this year. I think Dan probably loves the fact that it's on Twitter. I think
he does.
Because he's trying to get an extension. And again, I think they're both jockeying for position a little bit. But as far as Gator Nation goes, here's the real reality. You and I have been in this business a long time. Okay,
long time.
Yeah, I mean, if you add it up, you and I have been in this business 70, 80 years between us. Okay, we've done a lot. We've covered college football and whatnot a long time. All nation finds what they don't like about the coach more than what they do. That's not just a Gator Nation thing.
Right.
That is, the Gator Nation right now is more focused on why didn't you fire Grantham?
Yeah.
And why did we mess up the LSU game?
Right.
Way more than the fact that he's made them elite. They're now a top 6, top 7 program. Been a long time. So, and that's not just the Gators. That's all fans.
That's fair.
Fans are like that.
At Georgia, they're saying the same thing about Kirby Smart. Why hadn't he won with all this?
That's
Why did he pick Fromm over Fields?
The nation always likes.
That's fair.
Finds the negative. I think they're going to be fine. I do think, and I told you this last podcast, this is a critical season for him because it's the first, in my mind, the first transition year.
Okay.
I told you this before. I thought the 19 season looked like the 18 season, and the 18 and the 20 looked like the 19. This one's going to look different. Different style of offense with Emory Jones. Now those receivers really are gone. See, when
Yeah.
when they lost Hammond and Swain and Van Jefferson and Tyree Cleveland, honestly, Dan, I never worried because as good as those guys were, I knew they had Grimes and Tony and Pitts and whoever. I thought Copeland would be good. Well, now I'm worried
Yeah.
because now it really is a transition at that spot. Now there's some transition along the offensive front. Now they have a defense that really does have to be repaired with some new guys. This is the first true transition year for Dan Mullen as the Florida coach.
Well, let me say a couple things. One, to wrap up the Mullen staying or leaving, and obviously we are both on board with he's not going anywhere. And further proof of that is, he posted a picture last night or the university or somebody of, all the early enrollees at the house.
Right.
He's made a hire at the defensive backs position. So those are things you do when you're moving forward, right? That's true. Kind of finalizes that. You say you're worried about the receivers. I'm going to throw you a name.
I love names.
I'm going to throw you a name.
I'm a name guy.
I want you to think hard, and then I want you to respond to this name. Eric Gilbert. Do you know that name?
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
He is some big pass-catching tight end who was doing it down on the Bayou this year as a true freshman and doing it really well.
Okay.
And then he got a little homesick. He's from Marietta, Georgia.
Okay.
So everybody said, well, he's going to Georgia. Well, along come the Gators and a kid named Pitts.
Yes.
Marietta ain't that far from Gainesville,
Not
Florida.
far at all. You can drive it. I've driven it.
And so I've
right
seen,
up 75 is how you go. It's
seen some of the boys on 24/7 and the Rivals and all those guys basically say that, Eric Gilbert, next destination may be the University of Florida.
The portal will help.
That portal would be a now listen, Georgia already has that big giant, that number one, the Washington kid.
Right.
So the Gilbert kid, who I think led LSU in receptions, he didn't play the Florida game. He had left that week. If you can land him and get him in there, ooh.
Yeah, the Florida more than ever will be a program affected by the portal for a myriad of reasons. Number one, they're Florida.
Yeah.
The good schools are going to get good players.
Right.
I mean, Alabama got Landon Dickerson. Okay?
Yeah.
They're going to get the good players. Secondly, they haven't quite caught up in the recruiting cycles yet.
Right.
So they need the portal more than Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State do. So you need the portal a little more. You're Florida, so you're attractive in the portal. This Anthony Shelton, the defensive lineman from Penn State, is a good player.
Yeah.
He will start right away. He will start alongside Zachary Carter right away. So that's
one of the things that
player.
and I don't know, we've spoken on this before, but you said they haven't caught up yet. One of the reasons why they haven't caught up is because honestly their facilities aren't caught up.
Right.
So everything gets caught up. Dan Mullen stays in place for a couple more years, and then let's see what Dan Mullen can do in terms of recruiting. He's brought in some coaches. He hired Wesley McGriff as a defensive backs coach from Auburn. Interesting. I was leaning towards the Robinson, former Gator assistant coach who went to Miami. He's taking the job at Miami. I saw T-Buck's name kicked around. That was intriguing to me. But, so they brought in a guy with SEC experience who's, was a defensive backs coach at Auburn and now will come to Florida. And so away we'll go.
Travaris Robinson's going to be a really good coach. He's a good coach, great recruiter.
Right.
But he's an internet star.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what school you are.
Yeah.
If you have message boards, you want T-Rob.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's not worthy of them.
No, that's fair.
He is an internet star.
Yeah.
See, again, how many times has one of Florida's best players in the Mullen era not been a guy that was highly recruited at Florida? Van Jefferson was a transfer.
Right.
Grenard was a transfer.
Yeah.
Adam Schuler was a transfer.
Yeah.
Trask was supposed to be a backup.
Yeah.
It's not that in this current cycle of players, Dan.
Right.
It's not that often.
It's not that five-star guy because they're not getting a lot of them.
Maybe Gervon Dexter will change that.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe some other guys that they've signed will change that. Yeah. So I think Florida's fine. Big year this year. As we wrap, because I want to get to basketball.
Sure.
Where does Florida? Emory Jones is the quarterback.
I love Emory Jones.
We'll know by
so
now.
Excited, Frank.
I am too.
I want you by the third game to say, you know what, Hick?
The lobotomy's over. I rescind my request for lobotomy. But I want to know who's going to be on the offensive line because there's some newness there.
Yeah.
I want to know who the pass catchers are going to be. It's a new team. But
I think one of the things that shook us all up though was the performance in the bowl game. But
it did me.
Yeah.
And in fairness to those guys, they hadn't practiced.
Correct.
They didn't have chemistry with Trask.
Let's just wait.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think Fraziers
Mm-hmm.
and Xavier Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
They now have about 9 months with Nick Savage
Yeah.
in a weight room. They looked thin, and
Yeah.
they didn't look as physical as the
They're
other guys.
tall, lanky guys,
Correct,
man.
but they'll fill out. So,
Yeah.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
When the AP poll comes around next August 30th,
Okay.
where are in the first preseason poll? Where in
I can
your
answer
mind,
that.
where are the Gators ranked?
It's not in my mind. I know the answer to
Okay,
that
well,
question.
good.
Yes.
Where are they ranked?
They're going to
You
be
know what?
ranked 10-11.
Okay, I'll go 7-8.
Okay.
I'll go 7-8.
Voters aren't as savvy as you.
Well, I'm savvy.
Yeah.
If there's one, I'm
They're
nothing if
not. And they're
savvy.
going to look at the record
Yeah,
and the way they played against Oklahoma,
right.
and they're going to be punished for that. So they'll be more 10-11, like Texas A&M will be ranked ahead of them.
Okay. I can't find 8 that'll be ahead of them.
Yeah.
Is Iowa State ahead of them? They lose the quarterback.
No.
So I start thinking you got to get to if they're gonna be 10.
You want me to get to it?
You got to get to 9.
Hold on a
Here's
second.
how that works. If they're going to rank 10th, 9 have to be ahead of them. Okay, that's my question for you. What 9? Because I can't find 9 that will start the season. I can find 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
that will rank this to be ranked.
Well, we
ahead
know
of
who
them.
the top 4 are.
Yeah, because it's the same. That's an NCAA rule.
Yeah.
That,
Notre Dame? Will they be ahead of them?
Well, they lose the in book.
Okay.
They lose a lot of guys. That'll be a toss up.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, we concur.
And Georgia.
Georgia.
They'll all
There's 4.
They'll all 4 be
Do you
ahead
want to
of them.
argue Notre Dame, or are you going to put them ahead of Florida?
Oklahoma's ahead of them. Spencer Rattler's back there, rolled them.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma's ahead of them. That's 5.
Okay.
All right. So give me now, and I need Notre Dame. I think it's a coin flip.
Okay.
Okay. Who else?
What about Texas A&M?
All right, I'll give you A&M.
Even
though
though
they lose a quarterback
they
too.
are
now.
losing a
So I'm
quarterback.
not sure on that one, but I'll give you that one. I'll give you're at 6 now.
All right.
That I'm confident will be ahead of them.
All right. What about
Is there a West Coast team? I don't know. Is USC?
What about North Carolina?
No, will not be ahead of them.
Will not be ahead of them.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It will not be.
What about Miami?
Will not be ahead of them. No, absolutely not. I think it will not. Oregon, USC, you could move me on a little bit.
What about there'll be
a West.
I'm not going to move you. They're not going to totally ignore the Pac-12.
Yeah, so a Pac-12 team could be ahead of them.
Okay.
That gets you to 7.
All right, let's do this, Frank.
Okay.
Because I like to go against you.
I know you do. That's why you.
So, ladies and
there's a
gentlemen,
place for the guy that's
and
wrong. If we were all right, it would be boring.
I don't care where we start.
Okay.
It never's mattered to me. People get upset about that. They get a little SEC cachet.
I agree.
There's going to be 3 SEC teams ahead of them. I'm willing to make with you a world famous Dan Hicken lunch bet.
Oh, I love lunch.
Yeah,
bets.
you get 7, 8, I believe you said.
Uh-huh.
I get 10, 11, 9 is a push.
Okay, you got it. There you go.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember this, mark it down.
Love the lunch bet. And by the
There's
way,
nothing better than watching Frangie come off the wallet. Okay?
let me ask you this. Do you think voters will think Texas A&M's legit or this was a one-off season?
Well, I think Jimbo's a good recruiter.
Jimbo's legit. And that's
And
what
I
they
saw
have
some
going
things against North Carolina that I liked that wasn't all Kellen Mond.
for them. Yeah.
So I think that they're going to get a little bit of punch.
Okay. And I'm okay with that. So
Yeah.
we'll see. All right. That is football. Concerned about basketball.
Now we got bigger issues.
We have bigger issues.
I put you in charge of this.
I know, and I take
and
full
you told me you'd handle
I
it.
took full responsibility.
And I put you in charge about a week ago.
Yeah.
And since that time,
Yeah.
we laid 2 eggs.
And not only laid eggs is right. Not only lost the game,
Yeah.
but I mean we're so physical. And of course, here come the Mike White haters. That's all.
I know.
All it takes is.
I know.
And I tell you what, they were laying. I think the Mike White haters were angry about the first 2 wins.
Yeah.
They were laying in wait.
Yes.
And now here they come. But I am concerned.
I'm concerned about one guy. You need to tell me what's going on with the McDonald's All-American.
Scotty Lewis.
2 points, 2
Yeah.
games.
I don't think he's a very good offensive player.
I mean, but 2 points?
Yeah,
he can't find 10?
I'm with you. He's a very
12?
I don't think he's a very good offensive player. But the bigger concern for me,
Yeah.
boy, did they get physically manhandled both games?
Well, that was
I mean,
Kentucky.
Yeah, I know.
And I know all y'all out there
I
who
agree
haven't
with you.
watched Kentucky have
Yeah.
heard that Kentucky sucks. Well, I watched the game with Kentucky Jeff.
Yeah, okay.
And he was amazed, but I'm like, by the way, Kentucky has always gotten better players than us, Frank, and they always will.
And better players than everybody else, too.
And by the way, they're starting to play better. That was not the same Kentucky team that lost to whomever they lost
But
to.
you know why they beat Florida the same reason Alabama beat Florida?
Yeah.
Because they're bigger, longer, stronger.
Yeah.
They dunked on them. They out-rebounded
That's
them.
where
They
the players
out-jumped
go.
them.
That's where the best players in the country, they go there.
Yeah,
Frank.
and I know I'm with you, but
Yeah.
I'm worried about big, long, out-running, out-jumping, out
Down the rest of the way.
Yes,
That's fair.
I mean, I think,
You better be.
I think undersized teams like LSU,
Yeah.
Florida's fine. But I think those big, long, athletic run and dunk teams.
Yeah.
I were FSU.
Your inside guy had 2 good games back to back, and
Yeah.
suddenly he thought he was Nikolai Jokic. So he decided he was just going to
Right.
be a scorer when he's
Right.
not really a
No,
scorer.
he's not.
But quite frankly, when no one's scoring,
Well-
somebody's got to score.
And where does the offense come from without Keontae Johnson?
Well, the DeRugi
Man.
kid was the
DeRugi's-
most impressive
yeah.
player I've
He's
seen.
a pretty good player.
Yeah.
DeRugi, and he's physical, and he's the one guy that can kind of combat a little bit.
Yeah,
The whole big, long, strong. Because I worry
Yes.
about that. I do worry about
you
that.
should.
I think we'll see. But I do think this. Kentucky's Kentucky, to your
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
And Alabama has a really good team.
that
a lot
is
of
correct.
guys that have been there a long
They're
time.
in first place, and
Yeah,
they beat
yeah.
Tennessee.
So those
and
two
then they went and beat Auburn.
Yeah, they beat Tennessee on the road.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think I'm not ready to panic yet because Alabama and Tennessee are both very good. But I was very
Well, I mean, when you
surprised.
say not panic, what would make you? This season is such a tough one for this team.
You play 18 games in the league.
Okay,
You
what
got
do
to
you,
get to those 10 wins.
you got to get to
You
10.
got to get to the 10 wins. And I know Mike Whitehater thinks that's mediocrity.
Yes.
And wants to get to 14.
That's what I'm saying. I know what they're thinking. We should be.
Well, I
you
also
know.
think in a pandemic, losing Keontae
By the way,
Johnson.
can I make one more Kentucky point?
Yes.
Billy Donovan.
Right.
I believe 17 and 29. Does that sound about right against Kentucky?
Yes.
And I think 2 of those 17 might have come at Marshall,
Right. Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
And 3 came in the 1 year where they beat everybody.
Correct.
In
And by the way,
2014.
and I also looked at the individual games, just so you know, there were a few Kentucky blowouts.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, Mike White was 2 and 4 against them going in, 2 and 3 against them going in.
Okay.
So the bottom line is this.
I know, but
I know. I'm with you.
we need
on
more,
that.
though. We need more from the Florida basketball.
But I am concerned. They have a 7-man rotation.
and that's
then
concerning.
They got a bunch of
Yeah.
a bunch of guys trying to be that 8th guy. Lane's trying to be that 8th
Quez.
guy. Quez Glover trying to be
Yeah.
the 8th, but they've got 7 guys. So we'll see. Big week this week because it's games they can win.
What do we got? We got Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, and then
Is it Mississippi State?
yes, and then those are 2 games they can win.
Mississippi State's not bad.
But I'm not saying will win, but if you're pretty good,
These would be nice 2 to take.
yeah, then you're 4
Because you got that LSU win, which was a good win.
Right, you get 4 and 2 in the league,
You're okay.
and you're okay. So big
But a lot of work to do between Tuesday
yeah,
and what
Right.
we saw this weekend.
bigger news than any of this. We
Oh.
have buried the lead. If ever
What?
a lead has been buried,
What?
Gymnastics 1-0, ranked number 1 in all the land.
Yes.
Okay? Ranked number 1 in Tacoma,
Where is our
Albuquerque,
gymnastics
ranked number
correspondent,
1
Lauren Brooks?
Yeah, Lauren, my friend Lauren Brooks is very excited about this. Number 1 got behind. Lauren Brooks told me while we're doing a show on Friday.
We got behind Auburn.
Got behind Auburn.
No, we waxed them.
No, got behind.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
But we ended up
She showed me those
just after the
scores.
first rotation.
Right, which is the quarter in. Okay, I've learned that about gymnastics. I'm going to be a bit of an expert here.
I'd like you to delve
Okay,
more
okay.
into the 41 natties that we've won, and let's
Okay.
set our sights on
And
winning a natty.
Have the best baseball team in all the land, the best
Oh.
gymnastics team in all the land.
My
That's
my
the big story.
my national championship flag that I planted in my backyard, Gator baseball,
Yeah.
has gotten worn.
Has it?
It needs a
Time
new
for another
one. Yes, sir.
They are loaded. They are loaded. That's all things Gators, all things orange and blue.
Yeah, thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, se-ortho.com in the Jacksonville area. I'm telling you, those guys, those doctors there are terrific, and they will take great care of you. Frank, have a great week.
You too, Hick.